guys, what's up? My name is Karen and today's video is actually going to be my summer book haul. So just before I get more into this video, no, I did not move back home. I'm just here for the long weekend. So you all get to kind of enjoy my familiar bookcase and pop background a little bit. I had a bunch of books here that I'd been collecting since June. I also picked up more while I was down in Toronto for my first few weeks there. So now it just seems like a really good time to actually sit down and show them all to you, since I don't really plan to be buying any more books this summer. I do also apologize for the lighting right now. I have no choice but to film this at like 10 o'clock at night. So this is how we're doing it. And without further ado, these are the books that I picked up this summer. So the first book you would have actually seen in my mid-year book freakout tag if you happen to watch that, and that is the 20th anniversary edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Sorry, it's really shiny in the light that I'm using right now. So this is of course one of the house editions that they put out to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the first book in the series, and since I am a Ravenclaw, that is the version I have, and it is just super pretty, and I loved being able to read this book for the first time this year, so it was one I really wanted to have, and I'm glad that I do. And the next book I have is The Beguiled by Thomas Cullinan. So this book is about an army corporal who is injured and found and brought to a nearby girls' academy. He ends up starting to try and manipulate them and seduce some of them to try and free himself from the academy as he starts to heal. But as he starts to anger the women there, he finds out that he may be, in fact, the Beguiled. So I had never heard of this book until I saw the preview for the movie coming out, and I thought it looked really, really good, and then I found out that it's very hard to find a first edition of this book. So when I saw this one sitting in the grocery store, I decided I was going to pick it up just because I would like to have a chance to read a book that's actually, until now, was so rare to find. And the next three books that I actually picked up are part of the little mini haul I had while I was down in Toronto, if you happen to see my life update video where I mentioned doing that. And the first one of the three books is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. So this book is about a man named Shadow who has been a prisoner for years, and he is released just after finding out that his wife and his best friend have died. So since he feels he has nothing going for him in his life, he accepts a job offer from a man that only goes by Mr. Wednesday, and he soon learns that by taking this job, he has entered into a very dangerous lifestyle. So, as most people know, American Gods is now an Amazon Prime TV show, and I just keep seeing previews for it all the time, and I think it looks so good, and I want to watch it so bad. So, I also picked up this book because I think it would be really interesting to read, and I haven't read anything by Neil Gaiman yet, and he's somebody I really want to get into, so I'm excited to read this. And the second book I picked up that day is Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. So Speak is the story about a girl named Melinda who has a really bad start to her freshman year after she called the cops at a party. So she's a complete outcast, bullied by everyone, and she finally takes a stand by revealing just exactly what happened at that party. I just happened to walk by this while I was in the bookstore and thought it looked interesting, and then one of the girls that worked there kept telling me how good it was and that she really recommends it, and that it's one of the best YA books she's ever read, so I decided I would give it a shot since it seems like such a classic book. And the third book I picked up that day is Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. So this, of course, is just a collection of personal essays that all have to do with feminism and being a woman. And Roxane Gay has been pretty popular lately, and I have yet to read anything by her, so when I saw this sitting there, after seeing it sitting out basically every time I've been in an Indigo store, I decided I should probably pick it up and just read it already. And the next book I actually got off of the self-publishing site lulu.com, and that is Misunderstood Soul, A Lost Cause by Sandra M. Dorazel. So this is a collection of poetry all from sad experiences that Sandra has had during high school. And Sandra had actually commented on my review of the Gospel of Poppy video, and we just happened to start a conversation about some of the pre-press policies that I had mentioned in that video, and from there she happened to tell me that she had written this collection, and I said I would give it a shot, and I have it here now. The type of things that she writes is stuff I would normally look for in a collection of poetry anyways, so I figured I was more than willing to give this one a shot as well. I just realized that I have a bit of smudged makeup on my face. We were watching Moana earlier and I started crying, so apologies for that. And the next two books in this haul I actually picked up through Book Depository. So for those of you that don't know what Book Depository is, it's basically an online book outlet store where you can purchase books for very high discounts and you get free worldwide shipping. The first book I picked up from Book Depository was The Garden of Departed Cats by Bilgi Karasu. Apologies if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. So if I understand this story correctly, it's about an ancient Mediterranean city where every year they basically play a live game of human chess between the locals and tourists. And every time two players interact with each other, a fable is revealed. And a lot of the themes of the fables have to do with things like guilt and denial and truth and desire. So this is a book I had never heard of at all, and it was actually a little bit difficult to find, so I'm surprised that Book Depository had it. Someone had actually commented in my Poppy video as well requesting that I do a review for this book, and I thought it seemed interesting enough that I was more than willing to give this book a try as well. And it also kind of has me thinking of future video ideas where I might do requested reviews, so every once in a while I will do a call to action and I will maybe review books that people comment with, and I'll even mention your name in the video. So I do have to double check who it was that actually requested that I review this book, but this will definitely be the first book in that series if I decide to do that. And the second book I got from Book Depository was The Lean Startup by Eric Ries. So this is just basically a guide about how constant innovation will bring the most success for your business. And the reason why I picked this one up is because it's highly recommended by the company I work for to all its employees to read. Since a lot of the work that I'm doing is specifically with innovation within our company, and rather than trying to chase people down to borrow a copy and then get hounded by people to get it back, I just decided I'd rather have my own copy so that way I can take my time reading it. So I announced this very early on in my channel, so for anyone that doesn't know, I am a Book Depository affiliate. So if you want to click the link that's in my description below, you'll be able to go on Book Depository to get great discounts on books with free shipping. You'll also give me a small commission for accessing their site through that link if you so please. So if you're interested in that, that is down below. And the last 5 books I got just during another promotion on Indigo's website. So first I have A Clockwork... Ooh, really bright, sorry. The first one I have is A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. So if you've watched a lot of the videos on my channel, it should be obvious, especially by my pop here, that I am a huge A Clockwork Orange fan. It is the story about a boy named Alex who goes out every night with his droogs or his friends, and they basically just commit a lot of violence and rape, and they like to drink Milk Plus, which is basically milk laced with drugs. So after being imprisoned for 2 years for the crimes that Alex has committed, he ends up being forced to volunteer in this program that is supposed to cure him of any violent tendencies, but from doing so, it ends up bringing forth a lot of questions about moral choice. So when I originally read this book, I actually read it in ebook format, and I ended up loving it so much and a lot of the messages behind it that I really wanted a physical copy, and this is the Penguin Classics edition, and I just love it so much. So I'm really glad I finally have it in my hands. And it's actually so small, like, I kind of didn't realize what a short book it was, but it does seem like it takes forever to read since it is mostly in NADSAT. And that takes a little bit of time to learn, but I loved it too much not to own a copy of it. And the next book I have is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I really hope that's how you say his name, and if it's not, I'm sorry. So this book is about a boy named Charlie who is a little bit of an outsider, and he is taken under the wing of 2 seniors. This book is described as being one of the best coming-of-age stories, and everybody always just goes on and on and on about how great this book is, and I unfortunately have not had the chance to read it yet or watch the movie, so I'm really excited that I finally own this and no longer have an excuse to not get to it. And so the next book I have is Veronica Decides to Die by Paulo Coelho. If that is not how you say his name, I apologize for that as well. I am not doing well with names tonight. So this book is about a woman named Veronica who tries to overdose on pills, but rather than falling asleep and never waking up again, she ends up waking up in a mental hospital where she's told she only has days to live. So she, of course, was previously really depressed and suicidal, but through her days at this mental hospital, she finally finds the will to live. So I first found out about this book actually because Billy Talent is one of my favorite bands ever, and they of course have the song Saint Veronica, which is heavily inspired by this book. So it's kind of been on my radar for many years now, and I finally got the chance to pick it up. So I'm really looking forward to getting to read this book as well, because I know Paulo really inspires Billy Talent with a lot of their philosophies and messages behind their songs as well. So I'm excited for this. And the next book I have is The Art of Asking by Amanda Palmer. So this is a book Amanda wrote about how to open up to people and just stop worrying about all your problems and allow people to help you. I actually didn't know much about who Amanda was before, but when I read what this book was about, I decided I really wanted to read it because I'm someone who tends to not only worry a lot, but I also tend to keep a lot of my problems to myself and have a really hard time asking for help. So this kind of seems like something that was right up my alley. And the final book I picked up for my summer book haul is actually a graphic novel, and it is Volume 1 of The Umbrella Academy by Gerard Way and Gabriel Bach. And I sincerely hope that I did not screw up another name. So this series follows a group of 7 orphans who were adopted by a millionaire because they have superpowers and he believed that together they could all save the world. After being separated for a decade, they finally reunite when their guardian suddenly dies. So I really wanted to check this out because My Chemical Romance is another one of my favorite bands, and I'm a huge fan of Gerard, and he is the writer behind the story of these comics, so I really want to see what he does there, and I think it actually looks really interesting, so I'm really looking forward to getting to read this. As most of you know, I am looking for more graphic novels to get into as well. Alright guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching my summer book haul. If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below telling me which of these books seemed most interesting to you. And if you'd like to see more bookish videos from me, make sure you're subscribed to my channel and make sure to hit the little bell to get notified every time I release a new video. And just before I go, I'd like to thank everybody for their support after my life update video. It really means a lot to me that so many people cared about what was going on with me and totally understood why I had to disappear for a little bit while. And also thank you so much for helping me surpass 200 subscribers. I really appreciate the fact that so many of you actually think I'm interesting enough to watch, so I promise to continue to bring you guys more videos that you'll enjoy. Again, thank you for watching. As always, spread love and don't be a troll. Bye!